Hey everybody, we're talking about Luke chapter 21 in 5 minutes. If you'd like the same outlines that I'm reading off, you can actually get a copy on Amazon.com of this book. Links down in the description below. Luke chapter 21. When did the events of Luke chapter 21 take place? Well, as with many of the other chapters, the events took place as part of Jesus' earthly ministry, which would have been roughly 30 to 33 AD. Now, our characters in this chapter, three main ones. Two are pretty familiar to us. The first one is Jesus. He's the main character, the Messiah, the Son of God. And then the 12 apostles, who are Jesus' students and his closest followers, his closest friends. And then we have a widow with 2 coins. And she was a poor woman who Jesus meets, or at least observes in the temple. We'll talk about her in a little bit. Now, where are we? The events of this chapter occur in Jerusalem in the last week of Jesus' life. Okay, now let's break down this chapter and talk about our overview. There's only 3 sections here. One of them is really long, but the first section is only the first 4 verses, 1 through 4, the widow with 2 copper coins. So Jesus was sitting by the temple treasury, and he observed this poor widow who cast 2 copper coins into the offering box. And he told his disciples that she had given more than all of the people around her who were giving out of their abundance. Section number 2 is the long one. It's verse 5 through verse 33. Jesus foretells of Jerusalem's destruction. So the apostles, they were walking through the temple and they were admiring its construction. And certainly it was a magnificent building. But Jesus told them that there was coming a day when the whole thing would be destroyed. Naturally, the apostles wanted to know more, so they asked, "When will these things be, and what will be the sign when these things are about to take place?" Jesus told them that wars, persecutions, natural disasters, false messiahs would all come before the city was destroyed. And in their persecutions, they were supposed to bear witness about the good news of Jesus' life, his death, and his resurrection. Eventually, Jerusalem was going to be surrounded by Gentile armies. And when they had an opportunity, the disciples were told that they were supposed to get out as quickly as they could and flee to the mountains. Jesus said that great distress would come upon the city, and there would be violence, and everything would be destroyed, and many people would lose their lives. And they would see, quote, "the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory." He then told them that just as the leaves on the fig trees indicated that summer was around the corner, so these signs that he just described indicated that Jerusalem's destruction was right around the corner. As he concluded this section, Jesus told them that all the things that he had just described would happen within the lifetime of that generation. And that brings us to our third section, which is somewhat tied into the last one, but this is verses 34 through 38, a warning to be watchful. Jesus told the disciples to be on the lookout for the signs of the city's demise, because when that opportunity came to escape, they wouldn't want to be caught off guard. Otherwise, it could cost them their lives. Now, thinking about the big picture, how does this chapter fit into the big overall story of the Bible? Well, if you've read the Old Testament, you'll know that God was extremely patient with the Jewish nation, even as they rejected and rebelled against him. He was even patient with them through Jesus' life. But the destruction of Jerusalem, which would happen in 70 AD, which is what Jesus has been describing, that was kind of the tipping point. God's wrath was poured out on the city and its inhabitants as a result of hundreds and hundreds of years of unfaithfulness. And now for one final application before we close, and that is that God is very, very patient, but there is a limit to his patience and to his mercy. So if you're like me, you can look back at your life and realize how patient God has been with you through all the times that you've been disobedient and unfaithful to him. God gives us an abundance of opportunities to know him, to find salvation through his Son, but there comes a point in everyone's life when that time is up, either through our death or through the return of Jesus. The time for repentance at that point will be over, and the time for judgment will arrive. And so take advantage of the time, the mercy that you have right now to get your life right with God. We're done. We're done. Are you ready? You ready to get up? Honk, 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 honk.